Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video. As I'm uploading and recording this video, the national championship is tonight. We've got Kansas versus UNC, and I'm really excited to watch. And as I was thinking about it, I was thinking about this upcoming rookie class, as I have been all season as the fan of a Thunder team with multiple first-round picks. And so I was doing a bit of thinking about that draft class, which you will see a video on that in the next few coming days. But first, I want to talk a little bit about this past year's draft class. The rookie class this year has been absolutely ridiculous. The things that they've been doing, so many guys playing integral roles to their teams in just their first seasons, so many players showing incredible potential. One of the best rookie of the year races we've had in a really long time, like 3-4 guys making cases to try and win it. It's kind of ridiculous what we've been seeing. It has potential to go down as one of the best and deepest draft classes in a really long time. And so I want to take this time and make this video and talk about a lot of the rookies. I've been meaning to talk about Cade and Jalen Green amongst many other guys, but I thought this would kind of be a good way to just go through and talk about how great this rookie class is, what we're seeing, and what is so special about so many of these guys. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna get to every single rookie, or some of them I might just talk about for like half a second because there are so many guys I want to talk about in this video. I think like 30 of like 60 drafted guys, not even including undrafted guys. It's kind of ridiculous, the amount of guys that are making an impact, which is the reason why I'm making this video. So if I don't get to your favorite rookie, I apologize, I'm doing my best. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll go ahead and get into it. So, the first overall pick, of course, was Cade Cunningham. In the month of March, he put up 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. He's the first rookie to do that since Michael Jordan with a minimum of 10 games played in a month. That's ridiculous. Anytime you're mentioned in Michael Jordan's company, unless it's having to do with baseball, then maybe not as good. But if it's having to do with basketball, you're in pretty good company, especially as a rookie. Cade Cunningham has been absolutely incredible. He's been the leader of that Pistons team. They've really focused and made him their franchise player, their centerpiece this year, which is exactly what they should do. Towards the start of the year, I felt like too many times he was passive or like other guys on the team were taking over. This is Cade's team. Cade is the guy that if this Pistons rebuild is to go the way they want it to, he's going to be the guy that leads them to the promised land, unless they get another number one overall pick, draft another guy, then maybe it's that guy. But Cade is at least going to be one of those franchise cornerstones. And to me, he has established himself as a guard that can be your cornerstone on a franchise like team, a contender in the future. He's going to be an all-star in the next few coming years. He's going to be one of the best players and best guards in the league for a very long time. He's clutch. He's knocking down shots. He's not afraid of those big moments. He feels like a leader. Cade is doing absolutely everything, making a big push for Rookie of the Year. Despite a slow start to the beginning of his season, his efficiency has kind of gotten right around to like a decent level, especially for a rookie guard, which is usually one of the many issues with rookie guards is that they're not super efficient. Cade has kind of quieted all of those concerns from the first half of the season, and he's been ridiculous. He's been so good. As of recently, Cade is that guy. Second overall pick was Jalen Green. Over his last 5 games, he's putting up 30.2 points per game on 47.2, 45.2, and 80.8% splits. It's ridiculous. He is one of the biggest things coming into the draft for him was his scoring. He, of course, was looked at as probably the best scorer in this draft class, a guy that could potentially be a scoring champion in the future, and he has absolutely added more fuel to that fire over this recent stretch. And really, since the All-Star break, Jalen Green has been an absolute tear. Once again, another guy that had kind of a slow start to the season, but a lot like Cade, has really turned it around. It sometimes takes these rookie guards some time to kind of get into the flow of things, especially when you have established like guards already on both of those teams. It takes some time to really get into the flow of things, and both of them have absolutely found their rhythm. Jalen Green is knocking down threes, driving to the rim, ridiculously athletic. He's shown some defensive flashes, even if he's not consistent on that end. His athleticism is going to at some point make him at least a decent defender. Jalen Green has all the scoring potential in the world. Once again, another guy that looks like he's going to be a franchise piece for the Rockets for many years to come. Evan Mobley, I've talked about him many times before. To me, he's going to be another Anthony Davis type. He's a two-way star, superstar in the making, incredible defensively, really impactful on a Cavs team that, before a lot of injuries, was really shocking the world. They've fallen down to earth a little bit more now. But even still, Evan Mobley has played some really good ball. He did hurt his ankle recently, so he's been out for a bit, which I do think will end up hurting his Rookie of the Year case. But to me, he is still absolutely towards the front of those conversations with the way that he's played and impacted this Cavs team over the course of the year. He is incredible. He is ridiculously good defensively, offensively too. He's shown a lot of flashes like he showed in college leading up to the draft. Mobley is going to be one of the best two-way players for so many years to come, and he's probably going to win a few Defensive Player of the Year awards. Scottie Barnes, great defender, only rookie to be top 5 in every major statistical category, super impactful once again, a Raptors team that, similar to the Cavs, has kind of taken some people by surprise. He's been a super integral piece to that team. They've dealt with some injuries. He has stepped up. He's had some big offensive explosions, great playmaking here and there, rebounding. Scottie Barnes does everything for this team. He's one of the better all-around players in this draft. If he gets his jumper a little more consistent, especially from the outside, there's not that's going to stop Scottie Barnes from being one of the best two-way players in the league, maybe like a Kawhi type player. Maybe not as good, but a similar mold. You've got Josh Getty. I've talked about him a million times on this channel, but I'll talk about him again in case you've missed those videos. Josh Getty, incredible playmaker, one of the best inbound passers in the league. His passing IQ and really just his basketball IQ in general are off the charts. His scoring efficiency leaves some to be desired, but he showed so many flashes of a mid-range game, good free throw shooting, which is promising for scoring potential, and he had some of the most incredible passes I've seen out of any rookie for a very long time. I think he's going to lead the league in assists at some point, if not multiple times in his career. That's how much I believe in Josh Giddey. You've got Franz Wagner, who's really efficient, a good defender, a solid playmaker, scorer, guard skills as a forward. Franz Wagner really does a little bit of everything. He's one of the most well-rounded players in this draft class, and for a guy that a lot of fans leading up to the draft of their favorite teams were afraid of their teams drafting Franz Wagner, they didn't really see him as having a high ceiling. Franz Wagner has completely eliminated all of that. I think he could be a cornerstone piece for that Magic team, and him being a guy that they got outside the top 5, that is a huge pickup for the Orlando Magic. Franz, I believe, has kind of gotten a little bit snubbed in Rookie of the Year conversations. I don't think he's going to win it, but I think he deserves more praise and more kind of inclusion in those conversations when we talk about it. Jonathan Kaminga has been another guy who has played a pretty big piece on a team that is fighting for a championship in the Golden State Warriors. He was a guy coming into the draft that a lot of people thought might be kind of raw, but instead he's really made an impact already in his young career. A guy that I think will be in their playoff rotation when it comes around. You've got Moses Moody too on that Warriors team, has shown a lot of potential as a scorer and another guy that could crack the rotation at times. Daveon Mitchell, a lockdown defender who has shown a lot of offensive flashes and potential consistency when De'Aaron Fox has missed some time this season. You've got Jalen Suggs, who I feel like has kind of flown under the radar. He hasn't had the best rookie season, but especially his defense has been a huge starting point. He's a guy that I think could at some point in his career turn into a Drew Holiday type, and when he's on the court, the Magic are so much better defensively. I think he is going to be a piece that really is going to be valuable for them going forward. You've got Zyre Williams, who's given the Grizzlies some really great minutes on a contending team as a young player. You've got Alperen Şengün, who has great potential offensively, shown a lot of playmaking, rebounding, and even scoring potential as an offensive-focused center. You've got Chris Duarte, who really shone at the beginning of the season. He was an early Rookie of the Year favorite, being a little bit older, showing how he was kind of NBA ready right out of the gate and is a piece going forward for the Pacers rebuild. Hit a ton of clutch shots too over the course of this short season for him with some injuries. Josh Primo showed some potential as the youngest player in the league. You've got Quentin Grimes, who has been a bright spot for the New York Knicks offensively and defensively. Josh Christopher dropped 30 the other night for the Rockets, and him and Jalen Green, along with Şengün, already starting to look like what was a great draft class for the Houston Rockets. Isaiah Jackson has been a fun athletic big for the Indiana Pacers. Cam Thomas for the Nets has a ton of microwave score potential. He's a guy that I could see at some point in his career fighting for maybe a 6-man of the year type role if his scoring potential continues the way that I think it can. You've got Herb Jones, who I regret that I took this long to mention him. He's been a guy who's been one of the better perimeter defenders out of all of the young players in the league, especially as a rookie. I don't think anyone expected Herb Jones to play this big of a role on this Pelicans team, but he's been phenomenal coming out of Alabama, locking down, and he's a guy that I think is a huge piece for them going forward with his 3-and-D potential, a great role player to have next to a guy like Zion Williamson, assuming he does come back to the Pelicans. And even if he doesn't, Having him there next to Brandon Ingram, I think, is a really good fit. You've got Ayo Dosunmu, who's been huge for the Bulls in Lonzo Ball's absence. He's missed a lot of time, and Dosunmu really stepped up as a scorer, defender, and playmaker for that team. Kind of a Lonzo Ball light at times. Bones Highland has done a similar thing with Jamal Murray, of course, missing time. He has stepped up big as a guard. A lot of nights he's been one of Jokic's best teammates out there with a lot of inconsistencies. Bones Highland has had some huge moments for the Nuggets as a rookie, and that was part of why I really like them drafting him when the draft came along. I thought he could be a guy that could immediately step in and help make an impact without Jamal Murray. For the Thunder, you have Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who is a really solid center for us before getting injured at the beginning of the second round, as well as Aaron Wiggins, who we got with the 55th overall pick, who we've already signed to a long-term contract because of his two-way potential. BJ Boston has had some big moments as well as a 51st overall pick, and that was like 30-some of the rookies. And I didn't even talk about James Bouknight, who kind of fell a little bit and hasn't really cracked the Hornets rotation, but especially in the G League, he's been killing it. Kai Jones also, once again, for the Hornets, has a ton of potential. Keon Johnson has had some moments on the Blazers. Also, when we talk about the Blazers, Trendon Watford has been great for them. Brandon Williams has given them some good moments. Santi Aldama for the Memphis Grizzlies. Miles McBride for the Knicks has been great defensively, especially. Isaiah Livers for the Pistons has had some big moments here and there. Kessler Edwards has given the Nets some good minutes. Delano Banton for the Raptors. Jericho Sims once again for the New York Knicks, who got a lot of decent players in this draft. Trey Mann for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's been phenomenal. I waited till now to talk about him because I wanted to talk about him specifically. He's been great as an offensive scorer. He's got some defensive potential. Has had multiple games where he's went absolutely insane. I think he's going to be a great scoring guard in this league. There are so many great rookies. I just talked about like almost half, in fact, even over half of the rookies in the NBA right now. And like, there's still more I could talk about if I really took the time to continue to talk about other guys. Greg Brown. That's another name that just came to my mind right now. This draft class has been so damn good. All of those guys that I mentioned have made an impact in one way or another for their teams, or have at least shown a ton of potential to do so in the future. This has been a super deep draft class, and I can't remember one where we've seen not just a deep draft class like this or a Rookie of the Year race, but just so much potential amongst so many other players. Already coming into this draft, a lot of people looked at it as what could potentially be a really great draft class, but to me, I feel like it has historic potential. The guard play, the bigs, the wings, there's just, at every position, there are stars that are being made and establishing themselves as core pieces for teams going forward. Whether you're rebuilding or contending team, you probably got a really good rookie in this class if you had a pick. Because that's just the way it went. That's the way things went for this NBA draft. It's been incredible to watch. As someone who really roots for all of these young guys, as a fan of a rebuilding team right now, I'm really excited about all the young talent that is in the league. There's never been this much young talent or talent period in the NBA before. It's kind of just the way the nature of sports moves. The sports and leagues continue to get more talented, and this draft class is a great example of how young talent just keeps getting better every single year. So many impactful players. I'm really excited to see how this Rookie of the Year case wraps up, and really just how all of these rookies' careers really shape out as we continue to go through things. I think that we're seeing a lot of stars be born in this year. There's so many rookies that I could talk about. I could talk about like half the rookies that I talked about in this video for so much longer than I did. But of course, I think this video is already reaching like 12, 13 minutes. So I'm going to call it here. I just kind of wanted to ramble for a bit about how great this rookie class is. If I didn't get to your favorite rookie, once again, I apologize. Let me know who your favorite rookie has been this season. Who's a rookie on your team that you think has flown under the radar or you think just needs more attention. I appreciate y'all watching. I will see you all later. Real one, say it back.